was something I could live with, you know. I thought that would make a living amends between me. So I get out of prison, and I roll to my hometown to Butte, and I move in with my parents, and they take me in while I get on my feet. And, you know, and I know they're worried when I'm getting out of prison. You know, I've been locked up for over 5 years. I haven't drank or done drugs in 5 years, and I know that I was making a change, but I know that they were just, you know, what's going to happen when he gets out, you know. And I get out, and right away, I just want to share kind of this experience with you guys, what happened. I get out, and almost right away, I get a letter from Springfield, Illinois, saying I'm eligible to get my driver's license back, because it's been 5 years since the accident. So I go to the SASE, and I get, you know, my evaluation there, and I'm having people get references ready for me, and I'm getting all my ducks in line. And but I go to the spiritual retreat in January of 2008. I got out of prison on October 18, 2007. But in January 2008, I go to a spiritual retreat, and I tell one of the guys there that's been sober for 38 years, kind of my idea that I learned from people about how I can make a living amends. And he says to me, Mark, have you ever thought about trying to make direct amends to the family that you killed their loved one? And the thought of facing them people scared the heck out of me, because when I was sentenced, they looked at me and they called me a murderer, and how dare you try to get your sentence lowered from 10 years to 6 years. And, you know, there was a lot of, you know, rightfully so, a lot of anger and a lot of hate for me. So the thought of facing that family and opening up old wounds was not anything I really wanted to do. But he said, trust me on this. I know somebody that's been in your position, and they had a very similar experience to you, and they approached the family, and I really would suggest that that's something that you work towards. So I made a commitment then at that retreat to try to start the process of actually meeting Candy's family. So now, fast forward 2 months to me going down to Springfield, Illinois for a formal hearing to try to get my driver's license back. My mom drives me down there, and we check in, and I'm sitting in the waiting room. And while we're sitting there, in walks 5 people, and they go to the receptionist, and they say, we're here for the hearing of Mark Bruden. And I'm terrified. I know instantly who these people are. This was the family of Candy come to protest me getting my driver's license back. So me and my mom are sitting here, their family's sitting there, and I imagine they know who I am, and I wish I could disappear from my room. But we sit there awkwardly, and they say, Mark, we're ready for your hearing. And I walk into the hearing room, and they say, we've screwed up. You're not supposed to have an opportunity to get your driver's license back until you've been out of prison for at least 2 years. And I'd only been out for 6 months at that point. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm here because, you know, you sent me a letter saying I was eligible. I'll come back in a year and a half. But now here right in front of me was these people that had also come into this little closet college. She never got to meet her grandchildren. She was a very loved woman. She owned her own beauty shop. Her funeral had more people than they'd ever seen at a funeral in the town of Pekin, Illinois. She was a very wonderful woman. You know, and my mom, she got to share a little bit about how this impacted her, you know, and other family members. And after talking with this family a little bit, they started to get maybe an inkling that what I was saying might be true. And they said to me, they said, Mark, if what you're saying is true and you're staying sober and you're trying to share this message of what happened with Andy and you in this drunk driving accident, then keep doing what you're doing. You know, we support you in that. We want you to know that if you ever felt like drinking or using drugs, you could call our family. We'd be there to help you. And I got to hug each and every one of these family members, and they broke down crying in my arms. And to have her son hug me and wish me well, I could have never fathomed this, you know. I could have never fathomed any of this stuff taking place. And, you know, recovery and living a life free of drugs and alcohol, it's allowed me to be the son to my parents that I never was. The friend to my friends that I never was. The brother to my sister that I never was. I can be an uncle to my niece and nephew. And, you know, sobriety allows me to be a good daddy to my little 10-month-old daughter that's here. And I'm just so grateful to find sobriety. And I don't take it lightly that a woman died for me to have a chance to live again. I don't take it lightly at all. But I want to try to live my life where maybe Andy didn't die and started being a total liability. You know, maybe through that happening, someone else doesn't have to have that happen, you know. So, I don't know, you know, and I don't know if any of you can relate to that feeling that I was talking about, that feeling. I always had this pit inside myself, and I always try to fill it up, you know. I'm filling it up with alcohol, drugs, you name it, anything that I can fill myself up, you know, fast car, fast motorcycle, anything like that. You know, but I think what I was really missing was this spiritual connection to a God of my understanding, you know. And it took a program to kind of open me up to that. It took a lot of loving people in my life, and I'm just really grateful to be able to live life again, to be a productive member of society, you know. All I did was take, you know. I always thought about me. And I could never see how my drinking and drug use was affecting my family. I was like, I'm down here in Illinois killing myself, you know, but, you know, I'm not hurting them at all. I'm not affecting them. This is all just on me, you know. But I remember my mom coming to me and saying, I remember her saying that she could finally sleep at night knowing that I was in jail, because she knew I wasn't going to die from an overdose or a drunk driving accident, you know. And that's sad that a parent would have to say that they're grateful that their son's in jail because they can sleep soundly.